Yeah, folks, Quilly18 here, and welcome to another episode of our Let's Play of Rimworld, where we are playing totally and absolutely vanilla. Except I have decided to add the one mod for the colored minerals, because I think it really makes it a lot easier to spot them, which is, I think, helpful for both me and the viewer. Changes nothing about gameplay, just recolors the minerals so I can see them. But other than that, this mod, this run, no mods and no expansions. We are playing vanilla Rimworld over here. No ideologies, no anomalies, no biotech, and no psychic powers from royalty. It does remind me, though, one of the things I want to do is go into the quest tab over here, and under reward preferences, I'm going to go and turn off the accept goodwill from these quests with my neighbors. Although, you know what? I might leave it on with this alliance, because I actually was thinking about seeing if we could maybe befriend them. The idea is when you get a quest from a faction, the quests have an option of 3 rewards you can pick from, and normally one of those rewards will be goodwill. By turning this off, then we get a choice of 3 rewards, which increases the material reward options and increases the chance that we find something we like. And I think that's going to be good. Anyway, let's go ahead and unpause. So we got Tomo Man and Michelle. They're just spending their first night here. Literally, we're just going into our second day of gameplay. And yeah, they'll do that. We'll continue planting. We're just going to mine out a little bit of our little square defensive area so we can get a table and chairs down. And then I'm going to want to set up some research. And I'm wondering if I'm just going to dig out more of the mountain. That could invite some retaliation from bugs, but it is very safe. Now, man's got nothing to do. Man basically is going to be annoying because if you're not constructing, there's not much. Although once we get a research bench, it'll be okay. Maybe what I'll do is I could give you like a low priority mining job. You're not going to be very good at it. We'll probably turn it off later, but you can fill your time doing this because that's just going to open up some place where we're going to get you to build. So we'll get you to do that for a tiny scooch. Tomo is doing some hauling. So Tomo currently doesn't have anything else to do either, but they can be useful and do some hauling for us, which is nice. Yeah, bring that all in, please. Tap to tap, tap, tap to tap to tap, tap. Actually, do I want to start a table here? I guess you know what? I kind of do. We just need a little table. You know what? Here's fine. I'm going to move this urn off into the corner. So as soon as man finishes tapping this, they should go into construction duties. And in fact, I'm going to go and turn off the mining now, especially since Michelle's starting to take over, and now you've got some stuff to construct. So table, and then we're going to get some chairs down. Actually, I'm going to get you to move this urn, because then what I'm going to do is put a chess table in this little corner. And it turns out that people sitting on chairs like this can play chess together, which is very nice and time-saving. Oh, a little bit of failure on the chair, but that's okay. We got plenty of wood. I think we will use a wood-fueled generator on this map. And then the next thing we're going to build here is we are going to get started on our research benches. And we're going to end up... Oh, that's interesting. The seat spot can be there. I guess we'll do that. In case I'm worried, I could always move this, but it looks like it is valid. So if someone's in this bed, I wonder, would someone stand on their head? I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go and move this here. Again, we're going to have more medical beds than regular beds, so this still stays counting as a hospital, which just eliminates one little mood debuff. I guess I should probably go and get a dumping stockpile, and we'll move the rocks and stuff out of there. So like these rocks here, I don't want them inside the base, so I'm going to do that. This dumping stockpile, let's mess with some of the priorities here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this preferred for things that fit, and I'm going to include raw resources other than plant matter. So we're going to store this stuff outside, which could open it up to some theft things, but will save us some room here. Well, maybe what I'll do is I'll turn off silver. So we'll keep the silver within our walls. I guess if we have any gold, we'll do the same thing. But the rest of it can go out, including wood. Now, wood that is outside will decay eventually, but it takes a long time. So this has got... Their regular stockpile over here is at normal priority. This one here I'm setting to preferred, just so that it brings the stuff outside. So when people get some hauling ready, there we go. They're going to go and bring some of this stuff out, because this stuff isn't pretty. And we just don't have that much space to store everything. So that's going to be very nice. What I might want to do as well, because I think I might put my power gen here. So I'm going to go and just tuck that corner there so that we can stick the power generator a little further in. There we go. Michelle will do that. And yeah, we'll get this workbench or this research bench going on. And then I think we'll dig out a little bit more space in here for a couple more of these research benches. Maybe we'll do that. And then that, we can have a couple more. Because the idea is, hopefully, we can get all of our people be kind of idle and just do some research to quickly burn through a few things that we are going to need. How quickly do we want to get our stone tablets going on? I'm not sure. But, if we're gonna, our power's gonna be kind of stable with the wood fuel generator. All right, we're gonna get some cooking going up. I mean, I think what we do is we probably research smithing into machining, into just some early like armor and guns as a priority. I think that's what we've got to do. So we'll get that. I know we don't have a research bench yet. That's okay. Man, right. I think we are, yeah, they're in a recreation period right now, which is fine. They can chat with each other. Maybe they'll play some games. They do eat as well if they're hungry, which is okay. Oh, we do need some steel as well for the research bench, despite it mostly being made out of wood. I'm still really worried about this grizzly bear. I'm hoping you'll go and eat other things and then, you know, get a little further on the map. And we may have to fight you. Okay, there we go. Now, man has nothing to construct, but instead of being idle now, which they were before, they are going to start doing research, which is great. I mean, they don't have any passion for it or anything like that, but that's okay. Just plunk away at the research. That's going to be fine. Let's haul that rock out of the way, please. And yeah, at some point we are going to... Okay, it is asleep. You could even start that way, but we don't have... Actually, man's really good at shooting. We might be able to do some kiting. It'd be nice if Michelle was explicitly fast. We don't have any joggers. Actually, you've got a little bit of a movement penalty. If I had a dodger for some kiting, that would be really good. One thing I could do is I could put Levi in a little zone. I can make a little zone over here, put Levi in it, and use that as a buffer. I mean, you only survive one hit, but... You know what? I'm kind of tempted to try it. What could possibly go wrong? Zone, expand allowed area. So we're going to make an area 1 right here. And then Levi, you're going to be restricted to area 1. And then this crew here. Now Michelle with the knife is going to be in a position to do the secondary kite. To try to pull aggro. Try to pull around. All right, let's give it this a try. Michelle, don't go too far. Because as long as you're within 5 tiles of someone shooting... Oh, Levi's just running away. Okay. But you should be chasing Michelle. Again, she's got a slight movement penalty. Ooh, don't go too far because they'll... Ah, yes. 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 Oh, you stopped attacking. That's interesting. No, keep going. I don't know if this will practice your shooting skill at all, but... There we go. Now, we could butcher you for meat. What am I looking for? Not a home area. Clear allowed area. Area 1. Get rid of that. And actually expand home area. Before I forget, let's expand it to a bunch more of this undermountain here. We need a butcher table and the cooking table. Yeah, okay. Maybe we might be able to get it in time. So if we don't have refrigeration, I'll set up the butchering table there. And yes, it's going to be outside, not very quick. And then, I'd probably go right to the electric stove, which means I want the wood-fired generator down here. And I like using hidden conduits and everything, mostly because it's prettier. It also does prevent certain types of... Well, they can't be attacked, and you can't get a Zot from it. But mostly, I just like it because they're prettier. They take 5 times as much work, although admittedly not much. It goes from 1 work unit to 5, which is nothing. Uses twice as much steel, which again isn't that much. It uses 2 instead of 1. But it's worth, like, noting that. But I just like it, and we'll put electric stove over there. All right, yes, ancient danger. We figured this was an ancient danger over here. We're gonna want to crack this open later because we will get some good rewards out of it. All right, there's no haul. People will haul the steel in because it's unforbidden. It'll get brought there. Not at a very high priority job, but that's okay. And then, man, you are working on various construction. I think you hauled that because it may have been in the way. All right, we got power. People will have to load that up, but that's all right. I'm going to turn off the automatic refueling because I don't think we'll need it as much for temperature soon. Well, right now, it's still kind of required. Maybe, I don't know, as a double duty, a little bit of light that doesn't use electricity and provides a little bit of heat, it is nice. We are going to want to get rid of it, but yeah, we can wait a bit for now. Oh yeah, you don't have power because of that. And you can't, right? You won't do this. Tomo, could you just go and refill this? Put some wood in there. There we go. So now we should have power. There it is. And let's set up some recipes at the cooking stove. We're going to be looking to just make some simple meals for now. So I'll set it to ×4. Do until of X. And all I'm going to do is, if we have less than 1 meal, just cook a batch of 4. That's it. And I guess I should probably have just because we might not have enough food stuff to make 4. So we'll do another one where these will just make 1. Maybe I'll set this to a 2. So like if we're going to make 1 at a time, this will cook until we have at least 2 simple meals kicking around. But the 4 batch is good. I don't want to make too many right now because I don't have any refrigeration. But this will set a little bit of that up. We probably can't make any of the finer ones right now. We probably don't have the skill. Now, the other thing skill-wise that we have to note, right, with cooking. If you have a cooking skill under 4, you actually have a greater chance of giving people food poisoning than if they were just eating raw food. So interestingly enough, man could do it at the break-even point. Tomo, who is actually going to be our primary cook, isn't going to be great at first, but there's really nothing we can do to grind up your cooking skill. Well, that's not true. I suppose we could have you making kibble or something. But we'll probably just risk the meals and then hope that you get there. Man, can I get you to just prioritize getting this butcher table done? Thank you. And then what we're going to do is set a bill here where we butcher creatures forever. If there's any butcherable creatures, so that is non-rotten, non-human-like. We're not going to butcher insects because we don't eat insect meat. But everything else, if there's a corpse, go ahead and butcher it, because we're going to want to take advantage of the leather, if nothing else, which won't rot. And of course, the meat will be an extra bonus. We'll get that set up, butcher that. There you go. So we have some raw meat now, which might help the cat. I'm hoping the cat will prioritize eating the raw meat rather than our meals here. And in practice, and no one's going to like this, what we should do is butcher the cat. Cat does nothing for us. All it's doing is eating some of our meat. I'm sorry. We're playing on a high difficulty. The cat's got to go. Would it be under social? I think under social it would do that. I mean, it is nuzzling people. Oh, man did some of the cooking. Again, it shouldn't be rotten, which is convenient. Now, these meals only last for, you can see, 4 days unrefrigerated. That's one of the reasons we don't want to make too many. Of course, the raw meat spoils even faster. So converting the raw meat into the meals does give us a little bit more longevity on it. Need defense, I know. In fact, this might be a good time to go and expand a little. In fact, should we just go ahead and build a little bit of an outer wall and an early trap tunnel? If we're making this out of wood, it really won't take very long. Let's leave that in there. So we're going to go to here. Let's say, actually, we can enclose. I mean, ultimately, all this, because I was going to come down here, right? But the length of this is the same as the length of this, which is the same as if I want to build there. So I guess we'll just do this much. Obviously, this area is still opened up, but that's going to have to be okay. And just aligned with this door, I'm going to leave a little gap here that we will be building a door in there as well. Do I want to do the double door setup? I'll just do a single door. There's advantages to a double door sort of airlock system, but I'm not going to stress about it right now. So that's going to be that. I'm going to go and make sure this is included in our home area so that it gets rebuilt and fires get put out. And just general maintenance. You know what? I'll do this whole little front area, which might add some extra cleaning jobs, so that's fine. Oh, we're going to do an area revealed here. Shouldn't be a problem. We don't have caves. No, that's totally fine. We have a random visitor on the map. Who dis? From the circuit people. Dolus. Oh, you seem to have a few items to trade. Okay. Who's our best chatter? Well, Tomo has passion for social. They're actually kind of bad at. This is a trend with Tomo. They have passion for a few things that they're still quite poor at. We're just going to let Chicago get a little closer to us to save some walking distance. We've got some silver. We can buy some pemmican. We could buy herbal meds. We could buy a short bow. I'm going to say no to probably all of this. We could have given you something as a gift as well, which is a powerful tool because it reduces our wealth while also improving some relationships. Right, this tree, actually, we're going to need some extra wood to be able to just complete this, and especially if there's any trees in the way of the wall. Like these specifically. So what's happening here is man is cutting down this tree because as part of a construction job, he'll do that. But the problem is man's actually really bad at plant stuff. So it's taking forever to chop down this tree. We'd much rather have Michelle have chopped down this tree for us than have man do it. So flagging these to be cut this way is really good. In fact, Michelle, I know you're currently trying to sleep. I'm going to wake you up. I'm going to shut this down immediately so that Man doesn't get around to doing it. I feel like I want to rename Man. Should we just rename you to Manny? Manny's more of a name. Is it like this or like this? Probably like this. Manny? As a male name? It's got to be short for something, right? Manfred? I don't know. Never thought about that. Trying to think of like instances in movies or books or TV shows where there was a character named Manny. And I know there have been some, I just can't place it. Okay, visitors are leaving. That's fine. New lovers. Manny charmed Michelle by commending her learning ability. Michelle responded well and is now Manny's lover. Okay, well, pros and cons to that. If we do put them in a bed together, then they will occasionally get some loving, which is a good positive bonus. The con is that if one of them dies, the other is going to be super duper cranky. Also, I think right now they will have... Oh, you were rebuffed one time. I think if they go to sleep and they don't sleep in the bed together, then they'll get a debuff that's like separated from lover or some darn thing like that. Yeah, want to sleep together. Okay, do I deconstruct some of these beds? No, we can leave them there and we can just flag some of them for being hospital beds. Let's plan on put the beds over here. In fact, if I move this urn again, I seem to be moving it quite often. We could put the double bed in there, but I'm going to want to keep squaring off this room a little bit more. Oh, I thought you were like, why are you hammering at the urn? But no. In fact, why don't you just go and move the urn? Thank you. And then we'll put in the wooden double bed right there. We're not going for prettiness on this run. We're going for efficiency, because that's the thing. I play Rimworld two very different ways. Sometimes we're playing on a lower difficulty, and then we're looking for sort of fun storytelling, building a beautiful base. On a higher difficulty, no, it's about safety and efficiency where we can find it, and where I can be arsed to do it. Because again, I got my limits. We are going to have a couple more of these. Oh yeah, that will need to be, they can't quite fit in there. Here, I'm gonna go and square this off. Well, at least here now. I mean, mostly this bit. In fact, maybe I should just prioritize that. Move this first so I can put the other research bench, and then yeah, we'll keep trimming things. Manny, you're not idle. Oh, you don't have enough wood? Really? We used up all the wood already. Okay, well, chop more trees, please. In fact, heck, let's chop some trees outside of our border right now, because we can keep the trees inside what is going to be our walled area in case we want to be able to pick some up. Tomo, if I reset you, no. I was going to say, Manny can do research if we told Tomo to do something else. Oh well. As soon as there's some trees, actually, missing some wood. Because that would be the priority, is get another one of these set up as soon as there's enough wood. Okay, already building it. Good. Because then Manny can work at the research bench as a filler job. Which, even if you don't have passion for it, is never totally wasted. There you go, so you'll do that. All right, there's our mad squirrel. So this is the Cassandra Classic, guaranteed to get a mad animal early. Squirrels are tiny. We can just hide inside of our base. I can just do this. With this, now if you get a Manhunter pack that comes in, they're maddened by Scaria, then they will stick around for several days until they leave. This type of maddened animal, there you are, right over here, when they go to sleep, when they fall asleep, they will stop being maddened. So we could just lock ourselves in, because a squirrel can actually F us up. Right? Could scratch out an eye, could do some annoying things like that. Most likely we are going to have to pop out. But let's see. Right now they're researching, Michelle's sleeping, we're going to a sleep mode, so people might spend some time in bed. We've got a few meals inside. We can cook some more as well. Yeah, we might just be able to wait this squirrel out, because you never know, that might scratch out someone's eye. Or just scratch you somewhere and then leave you with a bit of a scar, which is annoying. I mean, in theory, hopefully Manny's a good enough shot that we might be able to one-shot the squirrel. But the squirrels they're small, so there's a good chance they get missed. If they get hit, they'll go down, like by a bullet, they'll go down almost instantly. But they can be a little tricky to hit. So let's just wait out the squirrel here. We don't get a bar about its needs, unfortunately. So we can't see how close it is to sleeping, but there you go. There, now you're no longer maddened, so now we can go and unlock that. And perfect. Still need defenses. Yes, I agree. We'll build a few traps by one of these doors here so that angry people have to walk in that way. So I guess I'll probably go ahead and also plan our little seal off here. Diagonals do count as being perfectly sealed in, so if we do that, that's going to be okay, and we'll put a wooden door in there. And then we'll do that and keep a wooden door in there as well. So once these walls go up, we should be perfectly sealed in, which isn't going to take much more work to do. Oh, let's go ahead and make sure this is home. Now, if you do have this on, it will create home zones automatically wherever you construct, including a buffer around it, which is good for fire control. I'm trying to limit it here because I don't want people spending too much time doing random cleaning and things. If we control it later on in the game, I do tend to go and home zone much more liberally because we have the time to handle it, and then it becomes more about making sure now things are automated, that we don't miss like a random fire that needs to be put out. But right now we want to make sure that people don't spend time doing anything outside of the strictly necessary. I guess I could have sealed this in by just building a little wall here. Now, having the extra space isn't going to make much of a difference for us. But we may as well do something that saves a little bit more material and a little bit more construction time. So we'll do that. I think what I'll do then is I'm going to, I guess I can't do it this way. I'm going to claim this area and then add that to our home so that we maintain and repair these walls. Okay, that's all done. Good. What I'll probably end up doing when I get the trap corridor, I'll probably just leave this door open and build a little trap hallway out here. Yeah. But let's make sure we get enclosed first. That's still marked for mining. Good. Because I want to put the extra research bench. And if we can have all 3 people doing some research, that's going to be lovely. Oh, what are we going to call this? Okay, that is a long name. So this is the faction name. This is going to be... Our faction's going to be Vanilla Ice Cream is going to be our faction name. This is a perfectly cromulent faction name. Mantis's Town. Why would we call this? This is going to be the parlor, the ice cream parlor. Done. We don't actually have any mods that let us make ice cream. So that's not going to be a thing, but I just wanted a little play on vanilla. You're probably just doing some hauling of the wood inside the base, which is fine and lovely. Okay, that's all enclosed. So now what we're going to do, tell you what, I'll leave this open and then we'll build a little trap hallway. So what we want to do with the trap hallway, so there's certain rules when it comes to these traps. First of all, steel traps and stone traps do way more damage, but you have to rebuild them every time, and so that could be a huge waste of steel. And when it comes to stone, and we don't have any stone blocks, so it's not an option right now, but you can do it with stone, and they do lots of damage, but they took a long time to rebuild. They are very effective, though. Since we have so much wood here, I will definitely be building wooden traps. Now, you can't build wooden traps adjacent to another. It needs a gap of at least 1. So the plan we do here is we do some amount of traps like this. And then what we want to do is we want people to walk through these traps to get to us. Now, we could do a 1 tile wide hallway, but then the problem is our people, if they want to come through this, would have to walk through traps. And they mostly don't trigger their own traps, but sometimes they do. So that would be bad for our people. So what we want is a double wide so that our people will be able to walk past the traps because they know where they are. But bad guys will be forced to trigger traps. Well, they're not forced to trigger the traps right now because they could, and it would be random luck, but they could just end up walking past this top area. So what we do is we do something that will slow them down. And the cheapest is a fence, which takes a single piece of material, so a single piece of wood. If we do this, oops, then what's going to happen is the bad guys aren't going to want to walk along the top because it is slow. So they're going to walk along the bottom, and then they'll trigger all the traps. I'm putting a double fence over here, just keep out, larger animals won't wander in this way. Squirrels can, but like bears, for example, won't cross that. Now, there's a little bit of an adjustment I want to make here, because if we do get attacked by someone who can shoot, they can stand in this tile using it as cover and then shooting through. So what I actually want to do is another little tweak here. Pull back a little bit. And we're going to use, we could do it with fencing, although in this case, I think what I'll do, I think I'll cancel this, yeah, cancel that as well. Or just deconstruct this door. We're going to go into security. We're going to set up barricades because bad guys won't stand on top of a barricade to do things. And then we'll put this like that. And I don't need the corners filled in, but it'll look a little bit better. The way our people can walk through here, bad guys will walk through the trap, then they'll go here, but they won't be able to stand behind this wall and use it for cover because they're not allowed to stay where a barricade is. So then they'll try to come through here, they won't have any cover, and then we'll shoot them. I think I'm going to want a few more traps. So I'm just going to go and embiggenify this a little bit more. Like that. Like that. And then I don't want trees growing in here because they will actually potentially cause the pathing to go differently than I'd want. So I'm going to make sure there's a roof that gets built inside this area to prevent any trees from spawning. And then this oak tree, I'm going to be told that I want it to be chopped down, please. And then we're going to home zone this area so that it does get maintained. Fires get put out, things get repaired. Done, done, done. Okay. So early on, just the existence of the traps by themselves will be all we need to keep us alive. But we are going to want to set up a little bit of a shooting area here so that we can tackle some things. We'll probably build the so-called sort of like shotgun tunnel defense. So ambrosia here is great, very valuable. Also, it can be consumed for happiness. We want to harvest this when it's fully grown. So the trick for this, if you don't want to babysit it, is you set up a growing zone that covers all the ambrosia. But then you don't actually want someone coming over here and planting potatoes. So you turn off sowing. And what's going to happen is your pawns will auto-harvest anything in here that becomes fully grown. So this heel root will be automatically harvested, for example, because it's fully grown right now. And when the ambrosia is fully grown, it'll get harvested as well. They'll also come down and cut down these trees, which isn't quite as important. What we could do is we could shrink this to not cover as much stuff. You know what? I might want the heel root auto-harvested. But like, we might not care as much about the trees. And I mean, I could cut some of the stuff in between, you know, to keep minimizing space. And I could have this be more than one growth zone, but it can be annoying. But we'll just do this. Who cares if they chop down a few trees? We need some wood, so that's totally fine. It's a little far away from home, so we don't actually want them spending a lot of time over here, but this seems okay. If we were running low on food, we could go and do some hunting. One of the things we might want to do is actually purge all the critters that are inside our base, because I think they will eat the random rice and stuff that's kicking around here. And that's not ideal. We could turn hunting on for Manny, because you're our best shot. Ironically, the long-range sort of bolt-action rifle might not be the ideal shooting thing, because when they hunt, they just try to sit at maximum range, and they might miss a lot. We might actually, even though Tomo has a worse weapon, certainly less shooting skill, but these guys are pretty easy going. I propose what we actually do is we set Tomo on hunt, because these things are very safe to hunt. They will never go and try to revenge us. And let's do this and just have Tomo hunt these things as a way to practice her shooting skill. And she actually might do a little bit better by engaging at short range with a revolver compared to Nanny's longer range with the bolt-action rifle. The skill difference is probably enough that Manny will actually be better, but having Tomo practice her skill this way is actually going to be wonderful. And we are out of meat. We're back to eating the survival meals. And we're not going to get much meat out of these. I don't usually bother hunting these small things because we get hardly any meat, but we're not going to have to walk for them. So that's okay. You know, it's right inside of our base and we can protect our crops. I'm wondering if I should increase my crop growing a little bit. I think I will. Oh, maybe I'll do a buffer crop to limit the blight issues that could happen. So blight will strike a particular type of crop and will sort of spread within it. And I think if you've got a 2-tile buffer, I think then the blight won't sort of skip through there. So let's do a little buffer zone of, let's get some heel root. I don't know if we've got the skill. We need skill 8. Oh, we didn't get a warning for it. So I guess we are at 2 and 8. And we're going to do another rice. And then let's go and get a cotton. So we could start some cloth manufacturing as well, which is really valuable. Yeah, eating those survival meals. Survival meals never rot. So we'd prefer it if they didn't get used first. And they do eat them at a lower priority. If you've got simple meals, they will prioritize that, which is good. You had to run after that squirrel a long time. You can see how hard it is to shoot them. But shooting skill is now halfway to the next level. I mean, may have already been partially to the next level anyway, but getting a little bit of XP there, I think is going to be really nice. All right, we can watch this go as you shoot. Yeah, look at that. Each shot is giving you a fair amount of XP. Failed while constructing, that's fine. We might need to chop down some more wood. Now, only the wood in a stockpile counts towards this, so this wood isn't counting towards that. But we do need, I think it's 75 per trap, or 45 per trap, so it does use quite a lot. We're definitely going to need to chop down some more trees. Let's do another big batch over here, please. One thing you can do to semi-automate the tree stuff is use that growing zone, right? If I did a big growing zone over here with no planting, like turned off the sowing, these trees would be auto-harvested. But I think this is fine. Wow, the revolver has a surprisingly long range. Maybe the auto pistol would be a better one. Oh, there's some jade over there. This is why I really like the colorblind materials, because I never see these, and I can't always differentiate between, is it like machinery and compact steel? No, I think it's the uranium. I think the uranium, because it's so gray, I always think it's like might be steel. So this just makes it a lot easier to find for us to find things. They are garish colors, but oh, I really appreciate that. Again, it's not changing the gameplay, so I'm gonna excuse that one. I'm still going to try. There's a lot of non-gameplay changing sort of UI mods that I like to use for quality of life. I'm going to try to avoid them on this run, but I think this one's a good idea. So I hope you forgive me for it. As we wrap up another episode here, our rice is getting there, and we probably were being forced to replant some of these from the critters. We're going to try to keep an eye on the critters that enter our base. Right now, see, we're all sealed in. Small animals can wander through here, because squirrels can fit through the fences, for example. Rats and stuff too. So we may still have to go and cull them from time to time just to protect the crops, but it's not very big. Okay, we're going to put a cut in here. What a great cliffhanger. This is our guaranteed first raid, which is going to be someone who is just a basic tribal, or well, it's not necessarily guaranteed to be a tribal, but it is just someone with a simple melee weapon. They only have a melee skill of 1. Yeah, they're not going to be very impressive. If we could catch these guys alive, it wouldn't be terrible. Undergrounder trait has got pros and cons. These skills are pretty impressive, though. But we'll see. Maybe they won't. If we do capture them, we'll have to build a prisoner room really quickly. But we could do that. Like, it wouldn't be very hard. If I just do, say this, that, right? And then this. I'm going to flag this as a prisoner bed, but not until this gets built, because otherwise it's going to flag everything in the room. But yeah, we could very quickly build a little prisoner room and try to capture you. But we are going to have to... Well, we'll probably want to engage you in the field and maybe do a little bit of kiting. You were up here, right? Yeah. So before I end the episode, I'll get some people in position. We'll get you two over here. Not that the cover matters, because they're not shooting at us, but it will slow them down if they want to raid us, and we'll put Michelle up front. We're not going to want Michelle to engage. We're just going to want to do the thing where Michelle gets chased while Manny and Tomo shoot at the assailant. But we'll put the cut in here. Folks, thanks a lot for watching another episode. I'm going to see you next time. Bye-bye. Actually, I'm going to put a door here before I forget. I think that's going to make it a lot easier to move around. Okay, bye-bye for real.